What's up, guys? Welcome to NDTV Canes all day. If you're rocking with you, then you know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button so you never miss out on a video. And big shout out to the Cane Gang, those who are a part of our YouTube membership. I appreciate you guys for going above and beyond to help support the content. Now, guys, this is a interview from the Joe Rose Show. I will be giving my thoughts as the interview goes along. If you just want to listen to the Joe Rose Show, Mario Cristobal and Joe Rose talk without my input, I will put the link to that interview in the comments. But let's see what Mario Cristobal has to say as we start spring practice.
Good stuff, man. After everything, I just think what's taking place with the combine and everything right now with all the University of Miami guys getting after it has been great.
Good morning, Joe.
Yeah, I got ahead of myself. Sorry about that, Mario. How you doing?
We're going to test you today. Vertical, broad jump, 40, the whole
I can help you. 7.6 in the 40, 2-inch credit card jump underneath for the standing high jump. That should really
short
get
yardage
after
and
it.
goal line. There's always a place
I
for
get
that, right?
knocked back and be on IR. You wouldn't want that. That wouldn't work.
Now Mario Cristobal, he'll joke here and there, but that's why I love reacting to the Joe Rose interviews with Mario Cristobal, because I honestly feel like he lets a little bit more slip. He's a little bit looser. You can tell him and Joe have a great relationship. So if you ever wonder why I always take a look at these interviews, is because as soon as the interview started, they're cracking jokes. And usually when you're comfortable with somebody, you may let them in on a little bit more information than you would a regular Miami reporter.
Hey, so here we go, and so much to talk about. The health of Carson Beck to start with, coming. I know getting close with the elbow. Expect him here for spring, or just get ready for the summer camp?
No, we expect some type of action towards the latter part of spring ball. You know, we've had 7 weeks of off-season training, conditioning, lifting, and whatnot. So it's a little bit more than the usual. It's been good for our team. Guys like that are on the mend actually get an extra week as well. So we do expect something, be able to do some things. We're already able to hand the football off and stuff like that and go through the motions, but actually slinging it will take a couple more weeks, and we'll see where we're at.
So I've already seen some clips of spring practice, and I like that Carson Beck is out there suited up and in the drill lines. He's just not off to the sideline, in regular, University of Miami gear, just chilling. No, he's got the football in hand. He's got the full gear on. He is a part of the team. He just won't be able to do a lot of things. And that's my number one thing that I'm looking at when it comes to Carson Beck. I fully believe he can be great at Miami. I think we can do good things for him. He can do good things for us. But my only reserve, and still my only reserve, is what will be his health-wise, his recovery-wise. Will we get a full, healthy Carson Beck? And we'll find out.
Before we get into everything, I threw out some numbers there. You told me when you got here, just a little patient. We're going to get this thing flipped around, and it's starting to look like your vision.
It's where every year we get better and better and closer. We always thought that your combine results, your draft results are directly proportional to your season's success, right? The more NFL caliber players you have, the more you develop your schemes, the more you develop as a program, and the more you attract great players. And that'll be reflected in the season. So more and more progress. Excited about the guys that are in the program now that have been here too, and now our first class is going on their third year. To put in perspective, they're true juniors or redshirt sophomores. So it's taken more and more of the type of face and look of what we always envisioned. So it's full throttle, right? We're in the middle of both spring football and spring recruiting, because the contact period does open up today. So you'll see a ton of not only really good football players on the field today, you'll see a lot of prospects on the sideline.
Wow.
So check it out. I'm a big Mario Cristobal. Y'all know I love Mario, but I believe this is a big year for Mario and his staff and in the program, because he can easily say we get better every year. The first year we had this amount of wins. The next year we had 8 wins. This past year we had 10 wins. He can continue to say that. But this is the year that we see when we get 10 wins in the ACC championship berth, 10 wins in a playoff berth. Because if you take a step back, people are going to be looking at you sideways. Because people are already looking at you a little bit sideways because we are watching the combine and we're seeing amazing Miami Hurricane players. We're watching the Senior Bowl and we're seeing all this talent. And I don't know if it was y'all, but every time I hear and I see everybody talk about Cam Ward, I say, yeah, Cam Ward was great. How did we not at least make the ACC championship game? And that, I believe that's a fair question. So I feel like this is a big year for Mario and the program and for what he's preaching.
Okay, so got to start with Cam Ward because all of a sudden Cam Ward is of the story of the National Football League. Unbelievable. From Washington State, got his grade in the NFL, didn't like where he thought he was going to get drafted, wherever that was going to be. Says, Mario, I'm coming, and now has the greatest year in the history of University of Miami football, throwing the ball, and now he could be the first overall pick. Any vision of that when you got him for a year? And you've been saying nice things about him. I'm sure every NFL team's at. What do you tell NFL teams about Cam Ward on this big debate on just how good he is and if he should be the first overall pick?
Well, you tell them the truth. I mean, it's no different than talking about some of the other guys we've had in the past. The guy changes things, and he changes and affects the people around him. His impact is strong. He certainly has elevated the profile of our university and our program to where it's all of a sudden the viewership is back to the tops in the conference, right? And it was a perfect combination. I mean, he spent most of his career earlier running for his life, right? And he was playing from behind. Offensive line-wise, there were some issues, which caused some turnovers or whatnot. Now you couple a guy like that with a really good offensive line and some skilled players, and all of a sudden everything takes off, his career and the people around them as well. So, again, it's another indication of the pieces coming together and how it all fits, right? And certainly Cam is one of one. His leadership capabilities, his alpha mentality and demeanor, he is going to lead a franchise to a championship. So we're excited for him and his future.
I do think Cam Ward will be good in the NFL, but I just want to say shout out to Cam Ward because what he's done at Miami, he's put a lot of eyes on Miami. He's given Miami the proof of concept. Come here to Miami and we can make you a lot of money. We can put an offensive line so you can sit back there in a pocket and everybody can call you nonchalant. We can do those things. You can help us out. We can help you out. And now we're able to sell those things. And I honestly believe that if Mario goes on a run that he believes he can go on and we can get this thing back going to how we want it to, we may look back at that decision of Cam Ward coming to Miami may have been the launching point that really set this program back to where it needs to go. We'll see where we end up, but I like our trajectory right now. And a big part of that is when Cam Ward decided to come to Miami, what he did for this team and for his program. And now it's pretty special because we could be watching the draft and they're going to put that U logo next to a first overall, second overall, third overall, fourth overall pick. It's going to be amazing to see that.
All right, so defensively, got some new coaches that we're going to get a chance to see Corey Heatherman take over the defense. Damian Lewis is back with you, and then the secondary, a couple of new coaches as well, and a lot of new players in the transfer as well as a class that you recruited.
Yeah, it's 4 straight alpha dogs and the guys that we hired. I mean, very reminiscent of, I was here as a graduate assistant when I went and picked up Greg Schiano at the airport for his interview. He was a Nichols coach for the Chicago Bears, and Coach Heatherman was, not only was he a coordinator at JMU, he also coached with Coach Schiano up at Rutgers, and he really plays to the strengths of his roster. And he's a guy that galvanizes people, and he brings the right kind of edge, the one that involves teaching, the one that involves connecting, and he involves his staff a bunch, and he has really good answers, right? The strengths of our team are found right now in the front seven, we loaded up on the back end as well, so we could do things on the back end from a multiplicity standpoint that are really going to help us. Very versatile back there. So Coach Heatherman, Coach Damian Lewis, I mean, he coaches like he played, just flat out dog.
Right.
And then you look at a guy like Will Harris, who I had the benefit of watching out on the West Coast. Phenomenal secondary coach, great player at USC, as well as Coach Etheridge, who was a great player at Auburn and who just did some unbelievable stuff in terms of recruiting, in terms of developing players. He just, again, the guys that we feel could make an impact because they get it as it relates to work. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like we grind. We love to grind. There's no bitching. There's no moaning. These guys get after it. They know the expectation, and they recognize the caliber of football that Miami is starting to play.
I tell you what, I myself, I don't know if you can judge this defensive staff off of year one. And I'm going to tell you why, right? And I will also like to say, if you're one of these new coaching hires that we've made on the defensive side, you got to be feeling good because you're playing with house money. Because this defense last year was so terrible that all you can do is improve. If this defense can improve off of what we saw last night, last night, because I'm still having dreams about how bad the defense was all of last year and how no improvement was made. If we cannot improve on defensively from last year, boy, because I'm at the belief we were at rock bottom and all you can do is go up. So I'm really interested to see, what they do next year, but then the defense is going to improve next year. It only can go up, but then can we continue to improve and continue to sustain once we get this defense where it needs to be? That's where I'm worried. But this year, it's going to improve because we were straight up ass last year. I'm happy with all the hires, and I just can't wait to see all the footage of them coaching so we really can see some of their personalities that we don't know that much about yet.
Would you like to see things more simplified in the secondary, more aggressive, constantly? Obviously, you want everybody on the same page, all 11 guys, so you don't have mental breakdowns and stuff. But what would you like to see improve? What part of it?
Well, the simplicity lies in the form of communication and alignment. Okay. It's that. I mean, if you look at us, it wasn't until one particular game where people ran by us. It was more they were running around us or confusing us. And that comes in the form of recognition and communication. Right. And instead of practicing against plays, I think what you're going to see Coach Heatherman do is really practice our scheme and the answers that we have within our scheme, and also what are the deficiencies of each call, right? Because it gives you a chance to rally to the football and get somebody on the ground, which I think –
instead of coaching what the other team is going to do, Coach Heatherman is basically going to focus on our strength, what we know what to do, the strength and the weaknesses and the deficiencies in every play call. So we know that's an interesting method, and that's interesting to me.
We were lacking in, and I think what you're going to see today also, you're going to see 11 hats run to the ball because that's at the forefront. I mean, the ball is the program, taking it away and protecting it respectively on each side of the ball. But you're going to see a very aggressive upfield mentality and physicality in our defense.
Mario, we talk every year. I talk to you about this, and your recruiting classes, I got about half the guys in. You got all but one guy in here from your guys that should still be in high school that wanted to be here for spring football. And I think it was a Columbus safety, if I'm not mistaken, and that's because Columbus, you can't graduate early. Yeah. Your school.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And that's even as somebody who creates content, talks football, that's something that I don't talk about enough is everybody from this class is here at is here, I think besides who is Fitzgerald, is here getting in the rep, getting acclimated, and putting in the work. That's amazing. That's amazing.
I got to go talk to him. You know what I mean? But, yeah, we've got in college football now, every year, it's almost like you're coaching a one-year team, right? There's such turnover. It's becoming
we talk about that. That's a radio topic, right? 1 year free agency.
It's a 1 year team, and then you're going to see some more turnover after spring ball. all over the country. And you really don't change your style of coaching. You present every single player with the opportunity to grow, to develop technique fundamentally as a person within the scheme, and making sure that everybody gets an opportunity to show how they can help the team win and how they can better themselves as a player. So it's full throttle in terms of connecting, and it's full throttle in terms of competing, and making sure that it's clear to everyone that spring football here is a real thing. Spring football is our opportunity to get better and more physical as a football team.
You said this when you took over and the transfer portal exploded. You said, hey, this thing's still got to be about high school recruiting. It's still got to be about high school recruiting. You said something really interesting. You said, even if I don't finish number one, if I finish number two, they can always come home and play. And you've stuck with that throughout, where people, listen, transfer portal is obviously important and very expensive, I'm sure. But you had two great recruiting classes. I think everybody's really looking forward to seeing the growth of some of the young guys.
Without a doubt. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still going to be the lifeblood of the program, right? The way that your high school relationships and the players that you bring in. Because if you look at the teams that are continuing to push further and further into the offseason, they're very junior and senior laden, right? And you'd like for those junior and senior laden guys to have at least a strong contingent of your program to be guys that were there from the beginning. But again, the guys that, to our credit to our portal guys, the guys that have come here have had tremendous success. So
you had a great transfer portal, you would say, overall.
Without a doubt.
Great grades for last year.
Absolutely. Those guys have done well. They did well in the season. They did well at the combine. They're going to get drafted. So overall, both the high school contingent and the portal contingent, they see tremendous development and success at Miami, and they see the trajectory. So for us, it's all just a positive and just keep working our tails off.
All right. Now, can I be selfish since it's my show in the morning? Yes. I want to talk about some guys I'm really looking forward to seeing the big jump. Armando Blunt.
Without a doubt. Complete. Just you're going to love watching him play. He's about 260 right now. He just turned, is he 18 now or 19?
I forget what young when he came in, because he had like an extra year of high school if he wanted.
He's really young. He's really violent, on the football field. He's very physical, very explosive. He's a guy, he's a motor that just doesn't stop. You're going to enjoy him.
Justin Scott. Everybody's been talking about it's got to be a big jump for him at defensive tackle.
305 pounds, has changed his body through the strength and conditioning program, and you're going to see a guy that now is, because of his athletic ability combined with his power, tremendous impact inside.
These young D linemen, we're counting on them. They really have a great opportunity. Blunt, Scott, they got a great opportunity. And something that I haven't really talked about is, yes, we've gotten a lot of players from the transfer portal, a lot of DBs, but we also did good at retention. You think people didn't want Justin Scott or Armando Blunt or Ahmad Moten? Yes. But we did a good job of retaining our good players, and that's something that isn't said a lot. I'm excited for some of these young, especially the young defensive linemen, but there are a lot of young players, Pruitt, Zaquan Patterson, that they got to take that jump if we want to be where we want to be.
I don't know much because I got to throw this name out, but I know it heavily recruit Artavius Jones.
Monster weight room guy who is transitioning that to the football field. Got a little banged up early. Nothing bad, just soft tissue stuff. So he's coming along. He might be a little bit limited today, but towards the end of the week and after spring break, he's going to be full go.
And then Patterson at safety, who did play some last year. We were out here with you last year, and he's making plays all over the place.
Will be limited during spring. All right, he's got an injury he's overcoming, but nothing serious. He will be ready for the end of spring ball and certainly the season.
So, Artavius Jones and Zaquan Patterson dealing with injuries. That's something that needs to be noted.
All right, so the tight end position, wide receiver position, a lot of the top guys are pro, or a couple have taken off. But that's going to be fun to watch. That's what I think spring football is for. It's the development and like, hey, guys, there is a transfer portal out there, but sure would like to see what you guys can do. So it's a great evaluation for you.
Well, we saw a lot of it last year. It just so happens that the guys that were freshmen last year were sitting behind some seniors that had a lot of production and guys that waited their turn as well. If
JoJo Trainer, We need you to bust down the door and put in that work, my friend.
If you look back, I mean, it was just 3 years ago, the guys like Cristobal, Jacoby George, right, Elijah Arroyo were either injured or backing up and starting to find their way. And they were really good mentors for these young guys. But you have really explosive, young, talented players that have gotten a lot of reps. And the way we run practice in the offseason, you get a ton of reps.
Yeah, and so tight end position too, obviously important to you. You brought in through the transfer portal as well as some recruits. How much of these guys, before you get in all these positions, you've seen them last 5 or 6 weeks, they've been working out. And then this jump for spring football really is going to get some guys a chance to play in summer, won't it, when this thing kicks off?
Without a doubt. And the coaches, they have the directive. It's get everybody ready to play. Everybody's got to be capable of helping us play winning football, right? Because if you look at us last year, you know what? Going into the year, we were thin at the secondary, but we had good frontline players. And when we got banged up, it didn't show up so well, and we started doing all kinds of stuff to try to make up for it, and we got all out of whack, right? So whoever's got to go in there's got to be capable of playing because injuries are coming, right? This isn't like the NFL where you have the waiver wire and you can pick up some dudes. So all in all, that's the big – I know I got off on a tangent a little bit, but that's got to be the directive of spring ball. It's don't operate as if anything else except that there's a game on Saturday and we got to get ready for it. And pretend there's no portal to come and save you. Get the guys on the roster ready to play.
Ooh! That's for the coaches and the players. That's for the coaches and the players. You need to operate like the transfer portal cannot save you. Coaches, stop thinking, okay, well, our DBs aren't playing good. We're going to be able to go to the transfer portal. No. Do your damn job and coach them up and get them ready. Players, stop operating like, oh, I'll never get to play. I might as well get ready for the transfer portal. No, my friend. Don't even think that transfer portal is there. Think of it as if I don't get better, my ass ain't playing. If I don't coach these players up properly, that's all we got. Then it's going to be on me. Oh, I like that.
JoJo Trader. I get asked about JoJo Trader all the time. Had the great play in the bowl game for a touchdown. Part of his was injury last year, right? I nicked up a little bit, but, man, what a great talent out of Chaminade.
10 pounds heavier, really a special player, special young man, and has had an awesome offseason. We expect big things, and we're going to press and push him and challenge him because of what his capabilities are. We expect JoJo to be a great player for us, and he's got to show it every day. Underrated.
Hiring is a lonely business. Posting jobs, sifting through resumes, interviews with unqualified
Got a
applicants,
damn ad. My
being
bad.
ghosted. What if you
Yeah,
could link with
I like
dozens
that. We're going to push
of
JoJo Trader. That's what we need to do.
right now.
We can't be doing this like, oh, JoJo, you the next one up. No. Joshua Moore, I need you to push JoJo.
One connection, the workforce
Malachi
you
Tony, I need you to push him.
Express employment
I need-
professionals. Express Pros.
Nothing given, everything has to be earned. Right now, while this ad is going, guys, if you have Instagram, if you have TikTok, feel free to follow me on there. I will be posting short form content on those platforms. So if you have Instagram, if you have TikTok, then check your boy out, man. I appreciate you.
Mission remains the same. You first, always.
It as a blocker. They think, he's not a big guy, like he's a little mosquito or something. That dude went in there and threw his body around in the bowl game.
Yeah.
He's all in all just a tremendous upside, going to be a great player.
So I got to ask you one college football question. I saw something. I see schools are canceling their spring football game because of tampering and poaching, which everybody's complaining. That's the biggest complaint I hear. I never hear you complain about any of that stuff. Yeah,
It's been going on for 125 years.
Hey, talk to him. SEC players, SEC coaches, Nick Saban.
And it's just made public now.
right.
Are you bleeping me? It's been going on forever, and it still goes on. It's going to keep going on. So for us, we're going to do spring as we regularly do. Now, will we shut it off to, like actual live footage and everything else? Yeah, if we're banged up, we may have a form of a spring. We might alter some of the things about it, but look, at the end of the day, if you don't want to be at Miami, you want to be someplace else, pretty sure I could go find somebody else that wants to be here, is going to play at a high level. So we're not going to approach it with fear or be timid about it or in any way, shape, or form. I mean, hey, if we ask our players to be alpha, we have to do the same thing as coaches. So we're with us, spring football is real and it's full throttle.
Woo! See, Mario, I need you to start. We got to start winning. We got to start going to the ACC championship. We got to start winning playoff games so I can really talk that talk when it comes to Mario Cristobal, because those type of statements he just made is why I love Mario. No bitching, no complaining. Hey, people been stealing and poaching and money under the table deals forever. Let's not act like this is something new. And if the players want to leave, let's not be stupid about it. If we got a really good player, we're not just going to open the door for them to leave, but we're also not going to get down on our knees and start kissing feet, because you got to remember, we the you. I love that.
You got a quarterback. I was just thinking all the questions everybody's been asking me about, and one of them's your quarterback out of Milton, Georgia. Is it Nichols? Mm-hmm. How good is he? And everybody's been raving about him that saw him play. I think they played against American Heritage Plantation in a playoff game, in the warm-up game to start the season.
Yeah, that's a big battle in the locker room. They all say that if Malachi Tony was playing quarterback for Heritage, it might have been a different game. But Luke's a great player and just a very natural leader. But we're very excited about the entire quarterback room because, again, I know it wasn't Emory's best performance in the bowl game, but he has shown a lot throughout his time here that he is a good player. And Judd Anderson he's getting a ton of reps, and he's starting to show what he can do as well. So all in all, we're excited about the quarterback room and the future as well. We certainly are tracking well with some potential prospects there for the 26 and 27 class. So I think all in all, that room and every room in the building continues to just trend upwards.
Yeah, no, with Carson Beck out, what a great opportunity for those guys to get a lot of snaps here in spring football. Mario,
And every single rep, Carson will be standing behind those guys, taking every single rep, going through all his progressions. It'll be like virtual reality football. He'll do it all except actually sling the ball. So everywhere we could find and steal a cumulative rep, we're going to do that.
It's going to be fun. I know you're a little disappointed the way it ended last year, but you step back and we've had a chance now to see the seeds you've planted and things starting to grow, and seeing guys play well at the East-West game. See, at the Senior Bowl was great for a lot of the guys that were the talk of the thing, and then the Combine. Hell, there were some guys who should have been at the Combine that weren't there. So
just keep getting better and then learn how to finish as a program, which all that stuff is. You could talk about it all you want. You could show all the video. You got to work it. You got to grind at it, and you've got to instill belief and resilience in finishing.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a major part of spring ball.
You said this to us last year. I said, man, it looks good. And you said, yeah, we're not done. There's going to be some more transfer portal, and you expect the same then. There'll be some new faces after spring.
Expect the unexpected. I mean, we're going to go through spring ball, see where we're at. We really love where we're at in just about most positions, and then we got to see how guys respond. And like you said, you got to be able to respond if there is tampering, going on outside with our players as well. And if there is, you respond to that as well by going to work, not complaining about it, just going to work.
I was going to say, so when you do hear about it, because you hear about it, you got people around you got a pretty good feel for everything going on from coast to coast. With do you pick the phone up and go, hey, Jerky, I'm not doing it to you. Why are you doing it to me? Or do you just let it go?
Man, let's settle this,
right. That's what you like to do.
Not many parking lots.
I'm not coming out, Mario. That's not going to happen.
Oh, man, you know what? You just never know what's real and what's not. And at the end of the day, it takes two, right?
Yeah.
And there might be outside noise and outside forces trying to – but it also takes a second person, right? So, yeah I don't think you don't judge that. You don't try to assess it, man. You know what? You go find better and you move on.
Exactly.
Wisconsin. Did you hear what he said? If you're a Wisconsin fan, which I doubt you're watching this video, but damn it, that coaching staff tried to lock Xavier Lucas up instead of realizing the man don't want to be at your shit program. Let him go. And what happened? Y'all put up this big ass fuss, whining and crying, making y'all look bad. And guess where Xavier Lucas is today? Practicing with us. You could have saved face by saying, Xavier, we wish you nothing but the best. But you didn't. Learn from Mario.
Exactly. Mario, thank you, man.
Thank you,
Spent
bro.
some extra time with us.
Appreciate
really
you. Get out there, get some
appreciate
reps
it.
today.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to getting steps in and watching the young guys. This can be a lot of fun. Spring football starting here at the
Great interview. A lot of tidbits that I want to go back and I plan on making a couple videos about. Link to this full video interview will be in the description if you want to just listen to it by itself. Shout out to Joe Rose. Shout out to Mario Cristobal. Shout out to y'all if you're still watching. Hashtag spring ball if you made it this far in the video. I want to see who's still rocking with your boy in the late minutes of this video. Hashtag spring ball. I appreciate you guys. Stay locked in with the channel. Peace.